All right, Brian, let's take a closer look here at the Giants as we head into this game. I know you've gotten a chance to do a little bit of study on them.
Yeah.
We just talked about the trench battle on this side of, the Cowboys offensive line versus what the Giants bring on the defensive line. You've already mentioned the secondary, how the Cowboys probably have an opportunity to take advantage of a lot. You've got two rookies out there, one of them who's just playing at Old Dominion and is
he's a long, rangy guy. I mean, he fits. But what happens is he's the guy that when you watch inside stuff, the routes, the drags, the ends, anything breaking inside, that's a little bit of a problem for him. So, yes, the Cowboys offense, to me, in the West Coast is predicated now on trying to create separation. Whether it's the crossing routes, running guys through trash, picks, screens, whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to do to get routes open. I think the Cowboys, that's their game now. They want to give Dak Prescott as many open throws as they can. So, yes, the Giants could play right into your hands if it turns into a man game and now you're running these corners through trash.
Well, if we look at the other side of this trench battle and what the Giants offensive line has, it was a unit that last year had a ton of questions about it, and it's still not completely rebuilt. It remains to be seen what Evan Neal can become. He had his struggles last year, but he was a really highly regarded offensive tackle coming out of Alabama. A lot of offensive tackles have trouble their first year, so this is year 2 for him. He might step up. Andrew Thomas is one of the best tackles in football. He's really, really good. I know you really like their rookie center, John Michael Schmitz. That was a guy that you were high on during the draft process. We talked about him a lot. Is this an offensive line, you think, though, with the Giants that maybe it's a little before their time, like in terms of they're still coming into their own? This probably, maybe by the end of the season, we're talking about a unit that could give the Cowboys some problems. But this first game feels to me, at least, like this is still advantage Cowboys with their pass rush and what they can do with Micah Parsons.
Well, it's going to be, Bobby, I think it's going to be about can you stop the run first. I think with Saquon Barkley and even with Matt Jones, with Daniel Jones, went way back in the Jacksonville history of wide receiver Matt Jones, Arkansas.
Arkansas quarterback.
But Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones, to me, this is where the questions, the Giants are struggling inside. The Cowboys have their issues inside. And I say this, John Michael Schmitz coming out of Minnesota, I really, really like. But John Michael Schmitz, as athletic as he is having trouble with power. And he's having trouble with sustaining power. So let's see what happens with Hankins. Let's see what happens, with Osa or Mozzie, anybody that gets an opportunity to try. Because he is, like I say, he can move and position stuff. But if you get him with power, you shock him, it kind of slows him down a little bit. And he's not as good with the sustain. He's trying his best. He's trying to be more vocal from what I've heard, trying to be more of a, commanding in the inside as the center and to be able to communicate things. We'll see how that all plays out for him. But they're struggling at the guard spot. And I think with you look at the guards that they have, it's been a little bit of a Russian roulette, if you want to say, okay, I know it sounds terrible, but it's kind of like it really is. They're trying to kind of find out, what they got at with the guard.
Lewinsky and Bredesen, yeah.
And Bredesen, yeah, absolutely. Who is going to start? There's still those questions. Rookie center, now you've got, whoever starts, they might rotate guys, I was told, through the game. Just because they're really not really sure where they're at with all those.
That's usually what's the old line, Brian?
If you have 5, you don't have 1, kind of a thing.
Basically
something like that.
If you got 4 guards, you don't have any.
You don't have 1, and that's really what they're dealing with right now. Is that they are trying to figure out what's going on site. And you mentioned Evan Neal. This is what I think is going to happen in the game, Bobby. I think the Giants are going to be a left-handed team in this game. And I mean a left-handed team in the way that they're going to run the football. And when I think they're going to challenge if it's Sam Williams, who's nicked up, who hasn't practiced. He's missed some practice time. If he plays somehow, how long can he play with the turf toe? But they're going to test Williams. They're going to test Armstrong. They're going to test whoever plays right end for the Dallas Cowboys. And they're going to test the right end, and they're going to test on the run, on the edge, if Diggs is willing to step up and make some plays. When teams were able to run the ball against the Cowboys, remember how it was? Everything was going to that side. It was, nobody's going to run the ball at Tank Lawrence because Tank Lawrence is damn good playing the run. You've got Van Der Esch. Those guys, they are going to have to win on that right side of the Cowboys defense. They cannot get hooked. They can't get cracked. They can't get second level blocked. Whether it's Clark or Van Der Esch, somebody is going to have to play downhill. Safeties in the alley, whatever they have to do, but they are going to challenge the right side of the Dallas Cowboys defense in this game with Saquon Barkley. And we'll see with a Darren Waller. We'll see. Will they line him up? Will they just try and big body on that edge and try and get the ball out to the outside? But they're not going to. It's not smart running the ball at Tank because he knows how to play the run. You could get and we'll see on the outside too. How much you're willing to get Gilmore involved in the run game. Is he willing? He's a smaller guy. Is he willing to step up? But I have a feeling it ain't going to be at Tank. It's going to be the opposite way. But this team likes to get the ball out quick if they can. They've really, really worked on that. And so get the ball out quick, misdirections. They like to play with 11 personnel, and they like to take their wide receiver, Paris Campbell, who plays a little bit in the slot, maybe move him around. You might see him in the backfield. Maybe like what they do with Turpin with the Cowboys. The jet sweeps, backfield with Barkley. You don't know. A lot of different things that the Giants could do to try and get Paris Campbell the ball.
Which is more just in the passing game, because you just obviously covered what Barkley can do and some of those things.
They can throw Barkley the ball too, by the way.
Yeah.
The screens, the swings. That's, and again, we talked about Darren Waller in this game.
Barkley's talked about. Barkley dropped about 6 pounds. I was reading an interview he did. He dropped about 6 pounds this season specifically because he wanted to have more of an impact as a pass catcher.
Yeah.
He wanted to be, more nimble and be able to contribute in that regard. But we already know what Barkley can do. We know Daniel Jones is, he's one of the more athletic quarterbacks in the NFL. Honestly,
he scares me. The all of a sudden it's drop back, things are covered, it's 3rd and 7, and he runs for 15.
And he's fearless. He's fearless. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks in the NFL.
No question.
I know there's a lot of people who want to, downplay Daniel Jones, and I don't think Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback or anything like that. But two of the traits that stand out about Daniel Jones and have even before last year when he started having success: incredibly athletic, incredibly tough. He will stand in there and he'll take hits. He'll take them and he'll get right back up and he'll deliver the ball through a hit. He'll lower his head.
Well, he did get knocked out in a Giants game. Jabril Cox got him one time. Remember they tried to run him on the goal line and he got whacked in the head and he was
concussed him.
Yeah, sure did.
About the only play Jabril Cox made, I think, during his entire time here in Dallas. But we already know those aspects of it. In terms of the pass catchers, which of these do you think challenges Dallas more? The ability of the tight end duo, Waller, Daniel Bellinger, a guy Bellinger that we talked a lot about during the draft show. The type of track star speed that you have in a Paris Campbell and a Jalen Hyatt, does that stress Dallas more? Or is it these shifty open field players, a guy like Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson?
We had Kim Jones on from
She's great.
Kim used to be on the NFL Network. Now she's like Newsday, Giants. She's a Giants reporter, so she watches the team every day. Kim said something to us, to the G-Bag Nation, we had her on, that she goes, I don't think I'm exaggerating here, but I want to say 85 to 90% of the balls that were thrown in Darren Waller's way he caught. She said, she goes, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like I'm exaggerating, but I think it was 85 to 90% of the balls that were thrown Darren Waller's way were caught. That kind of stuff worries me. How do you play Darren Waller? How do you play him, Curse? Do you switch off? Is Curse gets a look? Oh, maybe it's Van Der Esch. Oh, maybe it's Clark. Oh, maybe it's Jordan Lewis. Oh, maybe it's Bland. Do you give him different looks? How do you play against him? Waller scares me a lot. Now, they'll tell you that Hodgins, Slayton, and Campbell will be the 11 personnel guys, with Campbell being in the slot. Watch a lot of movement for him. Next thing you need to say is, okay, the downfield player is Hyatt. He's the one, if things get a little crazy, you max protect, and now you let the ball fly. What happens? Catch, interference, maybe a PBU.
Bryan, I was downstairs in one of the hotels in Indy watching Jalen Hyatt prep. I was standing right in front of him watching
Cat can run
40.
Yeah.
It is one of like 2 or 3 guys I've ever seen in my life up close that when he ran, he looked blurry. Like in front of your face, he looked blurry. That's how fast he is. He is that's tough. If you somehow get a Hyatt matched up on a Diggs cannot run with Jalen Hyatt.
No.
And if they can protect long enough, he can burn you. That's why, like I said, and yeah, you mentioned, Hodgins there and Slayton, and they're bigger parts of it. That's why I was just curious about the specific skill sets. Does the tight end skill set, the track star skill set, or the joystick skill set of those other guys concern you the most? Because for me, it's just the track star speed. I don't know that there's anybody that can run with Paris Campbell and Jalen Hyatt if the Giants are able to protect for long enough.
Yeah, that's, listen, if the Cowboys go out there and smoke all these guys, I guarantee the comments are like, you guys oversold this crap, No, I'm just, we're just having a conversation here.
They can shut it down. We're just putting it out there.
I'm just telling you, the
ability to do.
Exactly. The one thing Hyatt has been able to do is run vertically and get past people. You see clips of every day, during training camp, every day he was running past somebody.
How big is Malik Hooker in this game then?
Huge, because they're going to need somebody. They're going to need somebody, whether they shade it to one side or the other, but they're going to need somebody in the back end to be able to have some range. I've been super, super critical of Malik Hooker. This is a game he could absolutely shut me up. Or it could be like, hey, I kind of told you, here's why you need a safety with a little range. But you're right. These guys can run past the Cowboys' corners. And that's the thing I worry about. The third down and there's 3rd and 7 and you get a defensive holding. You get a illegal contact because you're not playing with really good technique. I was asked that today. I was on Cowboys Break with Ambar and Patrick Walker and Derek. And they asked me, well, what's the one thing that can make this team, this defense, go from really good to elite? I said, eliminate hands to the face, unnecessary roughness, defensive holding, pass interference. How many times on 3rd down have we seen them get off the field and then on the other side of the field, there's a defensive holding or illegal contact? Or some BS penalty like that. It's 3rd and 7. They get off the field, good pressure, ball's thrown away, and then the referee, Adrian Hill, who's the official this week, illegal hands to the face, defense, and you're like going, damn it, that kind of thing. And that's what's going to take them from being a really, really good defense to elite defense if they eliminate the crap like that.